Hi, I'm Borkaland. Glad to have you here. Welcome back. Ooh, just a second. I need to get some rockets again because I fly too much and I'm running out of rockets all the time. Uh-oh. Okay, that's not very good. I am almost out of rockets now. And this is definitely not good. This is not enough sugarcane to even make a farm. So, I guess we know what we're doing today. It will be a sugarcane farm. And as opposed to earlier farms that I've done, where I prepared in creative for way too long, I think we should just improvise this one. And I'm gonna see how my starter sugarcane farm is doing, but I guess, well, alright, not bad. I guess we will have some more sugarcane for the proper, fully automatic, high output farm. And I have an idea. Well, it's not an amazing idea, but the sugarcane that I don't need to save for other purposes, I can just throw it into a composter, and that will just make bone meal. And since I am consuming quite a lot of bone meal, it will be nice to have some additional bone meal. But yeah, let's get to some designing, get some materials, and we'll figure this one out on the fly. I have measured out an area here that I think should be big enough, and it's close enough to my base that this farm will be active when I'm here. Because I want it to run pretty much all the time. And I have measured here the dimensions I'm gonna need. And this part I will not build for now. This will be for future expansion and possibly even for a bamboo farm rather than a sugarcane farm. I'm gonna see how productive this bit is. So it's gonna be 12 wide here. I think I have measured 13, if I'm not wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then this block will also be sugarcane in that direction. Then there is a secret mechanism in the middle, the part that I have actually designed. It's gonna be a surprise, but it's a pretty good one. And this will be the wall. So yeah, I guess the measurements should be right. Right, this should be the base of the pickup system. And yes, I know it looks quite small right now, but the good thing about the design I have in my mind, more or less, is that once I figure out all the redstone and stuff on this side, it should be just relatively trivially expandable as far as I want to take it. So when I get this part to work, I should be able to make it as big as I want. Right, and now the magic pattern of the water. Start with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a pattern that I can speak about and count at the same time. This is a pattern that ensures that every block here will be next to a block of water, because each of these holes I'm gonna put something like this in. Stairs, and then waterlog the stairs. That's it. That's gonna be in every of these holes. And there will be blocks. I think this one, for example, is not next to a water, so I'm gonna punch out this glass and insert the stairs there. This is the most efficient pattern for farming sugarcane, because sugarcane needs to grow next to water, and if you do it like this, then 80% of the area where we're farming is covered in sugarcane. Ugh, lost count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are simpler patterns to make, but like for example, I just have a row of water and then sugarcane on the sides, but that's just 66% efficient. So I just planted the sugarcane on the edges to see where I'm missing the water, and we can see we're missing here. And then there's one here, and here, and so on. Next step, I think, should be the loot system. Because here I really don't have any idea what I'm doing. I will just use something from the wiki that I saw. I need something that will unload my minecarts. And I guess, yeah, we need to move out quite a few blocks because there will be some other mechanism here and I'm not sure if it will interfere. So yeah, let's be safe and let's build this far out. 4 blocks? Let's do 5. Now we need hoppers. Ooh, I have tons of hoppers. And the hoppers will be feeding the loot in which direction? They will be feeding the loot in this direction. And please notice that I have just removed one layer here because I think that 4 is enough. And you are free to mock me when I have to move this whole thing because it's not enough. I will try to not hide that failure. And this should be a detector rail here. Bum, 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 bum. These are just to align the rails. I am going just straight from the wiki. I kinda understand how this thing works, but it's definitely not my design. That's it, right? And we also need to power the rails. That usually helps. Now everything is powered all the way. Yep. So we put this thing here and it should fly around and it will just fly around. Now let's give it some loot to pick up. And yep, tum 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 tum. It's gonna stay here until it's empty. Done. Yay! Okay, everything is working exactly as it should. Now I need a way to turn this off somehow. How do we do that? I think if I power these blocks to turn off the torch, I'm thinking of a half-intelligent system for automatically turning on and off the minecarts. So let's see. Yep, you get caught. You get caught. Awesome. So yeah, this is the basic stuff done. Now we need to figure out how to harvest this. And I'm saying figure out. That's the only part I have had figured out already from the beginning. Because you might think, oh yeah, you will just plant a lot of sugarcane here and then have a flying machine eat it up. I have a confession to make. I hate flying machines for automatic farms. Because an automatic farm is supposed to be automatic. I'm supposed to just leave it on and go about my business, and then eventually loot will appear in my storage system. That's what I think an automatic farm is. Farms that you harvest with flying machines can't be left unattended. Because if the chunks where the farm is unload, then the flying machine will break. So either you have to push a button to harvest the whole thing and stand there and wait until everything is done, and that is the opposite of automatic if you have to push a button manually. Or maybe you have to have some kind of detector that detects that you're standing in one place that activates all the farms in an area. That's awful. I want the farm to work, and then I want to leave and then come back and do something else, and the thing shouldn't break. Because flying machine farms, if you unload the chunks where the farm is, there is a very good chance that the flying machine will break. So you have to go into the farm, probably break down a wall, rebuild the flying machine, and then restart the whole thing over again. And you're spending more time rebuilding and fixing and repairing and running your farm than you would save by just doing it manually. Because, to be honest, this is faster than rebuilding a flying machine every 10 minutes. I could just do that. And this is probably more efficient than most people's flying machine farms. Well, at least the way I use them, the way I would use them. So I have spent some time thinking about the problem, and I have made an invention. And this is the part that I have been experimenting with in creative. So I call this a tethered flying machine. It's a flying machine that doesn't fly autonomously, but requires a signal from the outside to fly. Other than that, it looks and appears and acts like a normal flying machine. But it requires external power source. And I haven't been able to break this thing yet. Observers here. Boom. Boom. This will probably use up all the redstone I own. It's a solvable problem though, not a big deal. Repeaters. And I'm out of repeaters. Wow. Alright, alright, alright. Everybody calm down. And what we do here is something like... Oh, come on. Right. Okay, this looks good. Now we're adding a clock. And I still have... Well, not enough repeaters. Come on. This is really critical. I'm gonna be very sad when I run out of redstone doing this. Yes, this looks correct. Piston. Slime block. Temporary block. Temporary block. Observer. You observe that, and when I break this, the clock should be going. The clock is going, but the repeaters are wrong, because they all should be on 2 ticks. Toot, 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 toot. And now, the magic ingredient. Pa 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 pa. Pa 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 pa. I think it's this. 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 Goodbye. I probably already made a mistake. And this. This looks like a flying machine, but without the observers. Because it's broken. Oh, I'm stupid. This clock definitely needs to be... This is 5 tick. It needs to be... I mean 10 tick. No, it needs to be 12 tick, I think. Yep. We now have a flying machine. Or I call this a tethered flying machine, because it's on a wire, and it's gonna turn around now, and it's actually much faster going in this direction, and no, I can't make it... Or I can make it fast in both directions, but that absolutely overcomplicates it, and I don't think it's worth it. I think it's just a waste of time. Why is there... Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what happens when you build it in the wrong direction. It steals a glass block. But yeah, so the idea is, of course, that construction is completely pointless by itself, but we add this. This is, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and this is glass. That looks right. And bam. And our machine is harvesting the whole thing. Yep. Right, and now we need a mechanism for turning this off. This is right. And I think this should be enough. So now this observer will be pulsing every time this bit moves, and when it gets under this block, it will just send a pulse into it, and that will turn off the clock. That's the idea. Let's see. Uh-oh. Why no work? Why did it turn around earlier? Alright, I rebuilt the clock. I added one more repeater here. I guess that glass will now get stuck on this thing, so this glass has to go before we test anything. I just went and double checked and I forgot what the way it was built. Yes, that was dumb because I stood on the clock, but it works. So let's see how this is supposed to work. There is some very slow clock that's gonna be triggering this, like turning on this clock. I'll probably just have a daylight sensor and run this twice a day because that's probably all that we need. And then it turns on. The flying machine goes to the end, and now it flies back twice as fast. Pum, 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 pum. And that observer will power this block, which turns off the clock, and now, yes, the harvesting slime parks right here, exactly where it should be. So it's not parking over any sugarcane. Awesome! So this thing works. Let's just protect it, plant all the sugarcane, and I need to figure out a way to turn on all these. I wonder... Well, I can start it manually, but oh, so many repeaters. What if I make these target blocks? That's actually what? Target blocks, I think, are... Oh, that's 4 redstone dust. And I am... Oh, I will have that... okay, I'll have that... Oh, I will have that much left, which means that I will have nothing left to power the rails. Oh boy. Well, okay, yeah. I'm going mining now. I'll be back in a few hours to finish this machine so that we're not starved for resources all the time. Bum para bum. Let's see. 52 blocks. Fine. Some lapis. Let's compress the coal as well. That wasn't that much coal. Some cobblestone as well. Alright. This should be enough to finish the project at least, but I will have to go for a much more serious mining session soon. And before that, I will probably get myself a beacon. Alright, where were we? Ah, yes. This stuff. And I was thinking about target blocks. Probably a waste though, because a repeater takes less redstone than a target block. But let's be modern. Yes. Being modern is all we need. So, 12 target blocks, I guess? This is the first time I'm using target blocks. I have never used them before. Stone line here. Nicely redirected into the target blocks. Woohoo! I love that feature. And just for now we're running with a lever. And that should shut those off. Yes! Alright. What we can do is power this as long as there are items in the hoppers. Because if there are items in the hoppers, it means that the hopper minecars pick something up, and then it's a good idea to send them out again. I don't think they will ever get full, so that is probably a complete waste of time. But why not? Yeah. So the way this should work for now is that if anything ends up here, let's just take cobblestone. We send out the minecarts, and when this gets empty, the minecarts stop. Maybe this will work. That sent the minecarts away, but they came back and got stuck, and that is exactly fine. Because now, when this thing comes back and deactivates the clock, that same pulse should enable the minecarts. Awesome. That's exactly what we want to see. Except that this is really ugly. The wiring here is something I like to call octopus orgy. It's awful. But it works. And that's quite important. And one minecart for you, and one minecart for you. I wish there was a better way of placing minecarts. I guess it's not a big issue with just 12 of them. Right, and we need to power all this stuff. I guess it should be as simple as this. Ba, 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 ba. All right. All the minecarts left, all the minecarts came back, but they are not done yet, because now this is coming back. All the sugarcane flew away and landed on that hill, but that was expected. And once again, yay! All the sugarcane is placed. Let's just get some leaves before I forget that part as well. Let's just put leaves everywhere for consistency. And if the machine goes too far, the funny thing is it will break them. Right. Wasn't even close. Oh, it's poking one block out. Is it as simple as this? That would be convenient. Now where will it turn around? I want it to turn around on this block. Boom! Gotcha. So, one last thing. How do I automate this? I think just the daylight sensor. I have never ever used the daylight sensor. I don't know how to make one even. Daylight. It's glass, quartz, and wood slabs. So, is it as simple as this? I guess it should be. Now we're just waiting for, I guess, morning to see if this thing will run. Actually, there is a way to make morning. Let's make morning. And that worked. It's a bed-powered farm. That I don't know what happened. Oh, I'll have to check that again. Does the daylight sensor activate too often for some reason? Yes, it does. Okay, so that's not what we want to do. Huh. I guess we could just activate the daylight sensor when we get maximum light and minimum light. So when it turns from day to night, and I guess that can be done. Now I'm completely improvising. But knowing how Minecraft works, this could work. Because that kept toggling all the time. And I guess that's because the light levels are changing in the morning very often. I will have to read up on daylight sensors. Oh, yeah, that doesn't work, of course. This way. And as it can be seen, this machine can stop in any position, in any configuration, and it will do a full cycle and come back and turn off the clock as soon as the clock is turned on. So that is awesome. Now what? Do I wait for night? I guess I wait for night. Let's empty everything from this, because those were manual or semi-manual test runs, and let's see how much sugarcane we get in half a day, which I guess is, what? Is it 10 minutes? Because if I'm right about how the daylight sensor works, it should go to 0 power when the sun sets, so the repeater should turn off, the observer should see that, and that should start one harvesting cycle. Still powered. Am I wrong about my idea here? I hope I'm not. Yay! It turned on! The harvesting is done. And almost 2 stacks. So this generated 114 sugarcane in 10 minutes, I guess. The area of the farm is 12 by 18, that's 216 blocks, but only 80%, around 80% of it is sugarcane plants. That's about 172, 173 plants. So 114 divided by 172 is 0. So each sugarcane plant generated basically 2/3 sugarcane in 10 minutes. So that's 1 sugarcane every 15 minutes per plant, and the wiki says that it should be every 18 minutes, so I guess we got a little bit lucky. Oh, okay. This is not bad. This will supply all my rockets forever and I built it too big for my rocket, so I guess we now have sugarcane that we're gonna be turning into bone meal. Wow, I fully expected to make it twice as big and build the other side as well. I guess it will be bamboo on the other side in case I ever need to cover the entire world in scaffolding. And quite fittingly, I just ran out of rockets when I was picking up my sugarcane. So, paper, rockets! And now we have the rockets from our own automatic sugarcane farm. This really looks neat from up here. I guess this line is kinda ugly, but everything else looks nice, symmetrical, repeating patterns. I like that. Anyway, I have built up the stuffwood duct that takes all the sugarcane straight into the system. This was a little bit of a nightmare because we have items coming in from both sides in a bubble column, and making the items not fly into the other side and getting stuck on the ice here was a little bit of a nightmare, but it worked. And now all the stuff is going into the sorting system, and I added a new segment of the sorting system because the poppies used to go in here, and now I made the poppies and the sugarcane go here, and any overflow from the sorting system that doesn't get fed into the sorting system just goes into this line of hoppers and into these composters, which have been a little bit productive because I had to dump all my excess poppies in here. And yeah, it's quite a nice bit. But that will be all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!